I knew something was wrong when the Christmas group text went silent. Every year I hosted, cooked, or helped Nathan and Ashley prepare. But this year? Nothing. No invite, no mention of me. Then I saw it, Ashley's post. So excited for Christmas Eve dinner with my amazing in-laws. The photo showed Veronica and Richard Monroe grinning beside my grandkids. I felt a chill deeper than winter. After 5 years of paying their mortgage and fixing their roof, I was invisible now. A ghost. I'd sacrificed my retirement, my comfort, my peace. For what? Exclusion? Humiliation? That night I didn't cry. I opened my drawer, pulled out a thick envelope of receipts, and quietly began to plan. If this story left you speechless, if you believe the quietest revenge makes the loudest impact, then you've found your home. Subscribe now for more emotionally charged cinematic revenge stories. Tap the bell, because the next one might just hit closer to home. This is where betrayal backfires and silence speaks louder than screams. You're watching the rise of those they thought would stay broken. See you in the next one. 5 years ago, when Nathan lost his job, Ashley cried in my living room. "We'll lose the house," she whispered. So I did what mothers do. Refinanced mina. $2,800 each month, gone from my account to theirs. For 5 years. I paid the down payment. I paid their property tax. I even bought the granite countertops Ashley claimed she needed for her hosting aesthetic. When they landed jobs again, they never offered to repay a cent. But I didn't ask. I just wanted to be loved, needed, included. But now I was cut off by the very people who lived in a home I built. They wanted to erase me. They forgot I kept the records. Ashley posted again. Final headcount for Christmas dinner confirmed. So excited. I stared at the photo. Lily wore the velvet dress I bought her last year. Ethan stood beside the 12-foot tree I paid for. No mention of me. No seat saved for Grandma Laurel. Veronica Monroe had finally succeeded. She'd made sure I wasn't presentable for her elite dinner guests. Ashley obeyed like a trained socialite. Nathan, my son, had gone silent. That was the worst betrayal of all. I'd held him through broken bones, broken hearts. But now, I was the broken one. Quiet. Angry. Done. I opened my filing cabinet, labeled everything, printed every transfer, and smiled. They invited everyone but me. I was coming anyway. Before Ashley, before Veronica, I was enough. I ran my own real estate office. I owned my home. I bought my first car in cash. But they chipped away at me slowly. "You're so generous, Laurel. Only you understand our struggle. You're the heart of this family." Until I became their crutch. Then their maid. Then invisible. I downsized my groceries. Skipped vacations. Took money from my savings. I watched them flourish while I quietly faded. At first, I thought, this is what mothers do. But mothers aren't supposed to be discarded like expired milk. I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself. Until now. Now I was waking up and preparing to rise. My guest list was short: truth, receipts, silence. I spent the weekend gathering evidence. Months of mortgage transfers, screenshots of texts, receipts for Ethan's birthday bike, the roof replacement quote. I printed everything and sorted them into 12 red folders, one for each dinner guest. I highlighted payments, circled social media lies, and wrote notes beside each claim. Ashley said I was never generous. See Exhibit C. Veronica said I caused stress. See the spa receipts I paid for. I labeled each file by name. I wanted no confusion. No denial. No escape. By the time I was done, my dining table looked like a legal war zone. This dinner wouldn't need a turkey. It needed truth. I called Rosa that night. She always saw through people. When I explained what I was planning, she didn't try to stop me. She only said, "Make sure your hands stay clean and your voice stays calm." She offered her printer, her kitchen, even her help organizing. "You gave them everything," she said. "Now it's time to take back your dignity." Rosa had seen me fall apart during Maria's funeral. She saw me recover. She knew this was different. "You don't need revenge, Laurel," she added, handing me a highlighter. "You need closure. And they need consequences." I nodded silently. This wasn't about bitterness. It was about boundaries. I would confront them, not as a victim but as a witness. The air smelled like smoke and pine as I dressed in my navy blue coat, the one I wore to Maria's funeral. Fitting. I tucked the folders into my leather tote, zipped it closed and slid on my gloves. Their house was glowing, cars lined the street, candles flickered in the windows. Inside, laughter floated through the open kitchen window. I stood outside for a moment, steadying my breath. They don't know what's coming, I whispered. At 6:45, I walked up the porch steps. My hand touched the doorknob. The door was unlocked. Of course. Ashley always bragged about their safe neighborhood. I stepped inside. 12 heads turned as I entered their dining room like a calm storm. Veronica gasped. Ashley dropped her fork. Nathan stood up, awkward and pale. "Mom," he stammered. "What are you doing here?" I smiled politely. "Delivering dessert." I placed the tote on the marble counter, opened it, and began distributing the red folders one by one. "This," I said, "is everything I paid for since 2018. Down payment, mortgage, appliances, roof, birthday gifts, granite counters. Take a look." The room froze. Someone whispered, "Is this a joke?" I calmly took a seat in the corner and sipped the cider they left on the bar. "Keep reading," I said. "It gets better." The air thickened with disbelief. My silence, for once, spoke louder than their embarrassment. Ashley's voice was the first to break. "This is so out of line, Laurel." Veronica leaned forward, trembling. "We didn't ask for any of this. You volunteered." I raised an eyebrow. Did I volunteer to be cut out of Christmas dinner after paying $168,000 in bills? Nathan rubbed his forehead. "This isn't the time or place. It's the perfect time," I interrupted. "You made my generosity look like an inconvenience. So now, your lies get a proper audience." Richard finally spoke. "You've embarrassed yourself. These are private matters." I turned to him. "No, Richard. You made them public when you planted a smear piece in the paper. I have the journalist's number right here. If this story left you speechless, if you believe the quietest revenge makes the loudest impact, then you've found your home. Subscribe now for more emotionally charged, cinematic revenge stories. Tap the bell, because the next one might just hit closer to home. This is where betrayal backfires and silence speaks louder than screams. You're watching the rise of those they thought would stay broken. See you in the next one. I pulled out my phone and held up a screenshot. "Samantha Voss," I said, "lifestyle editor. Richard contacted her through a mutual friend. The hit piece ran 3 days ago." Gasps rippled through the room. "You called me mentally unstable, said I abandoned you at the airport. You forgot something." I pulled out airline screenshots. It was 54 degrees and sunny. "And you never told me to come." A neighbor's wife stood up. "Is this true?" Ashley's voice cracked. "She's twisting everything." I smiled. "No. You did. I'm just untangling it. In public. Like you tried with me." Nathan stared at the table, face burning. "I didn't know about the article." I nodded. "That's the problem." Lily ran into the room, eyes wide. "Grandma," she whispered. Ethan followed. "Why are you here?" Ashley stood, panicked. "Go back to the playroom." But Lily clung to my coat. "We missed you." Veronica moved to pull her away. I stepped back. "You're not going to erase me from their lives like you did this dinner." I kneeled to their height. "I love you. But Grandma's going home tonight." Lily frowned. "Are you mad?" "I'm just tired of being treated like I don't matter." They nodded slowly, sensing more than they understood. As they left the room, Veronica's mask cracked. "You're poisoning them." "No," I said. "I'm protecting myself from all of you." Catherine from the country club stood. "You told us your in-laws were freeloaders." Ashley flushed. "She manipulated us." "With receipts?" someone asked. "Laurel, I apologize," said a neighbor. "I judged you." "You judged silence," I corrected. "It's easier than questioning privilege." Another man muttered, $168,000? That's criminal. "Not illegal," I said. Just immoral. The mood shifted again. People began folding their folders, standing up, thanking me quietly. Well done, someone whispered. I gathered my things slowly. I came to deliver truth, not apologies. Nathan watched me walk to the door, finally realizing the cost of silence. Mom, wait. I turned once. Enjoy your dinner. It's the last one I'll ever pay for. Christmas Day passed quietly. No calls. No texts. Not even from Nathan. I spent it with Rosa and her grandkids. We made tamales, told stories, lit candles for Maria. I didn't cry. I felt free. I slept late the next morning, and when I finally checked my phone, there was only one message from an unknown number. You'll regret humiliating us. This isn't over. I deleted it without reading further. Because they were wrong. This was over. And I didn't regret anything. For the first time in years I had peace. And a fridge full of food I bought for myself, not them. On December 27th, the article resurfaced. Someone reposted it to a local Facebook group. This time the comments were different. Isn't this the woman who exposed the Monroes at dinner? She paid for everything. Where's their side of the story now? It backfired. Again. Samantha Voss tried defending herself. I was misled, she wrote. I posted a simple comment with 3 images. The receipts, the payment schedule, and the social media post that excluded me. Likes flooded in. A stranger messaged me. You're a legend. I didn't feel like one. I just felt seen. On January 4th, a certified letter arrived for them, misdelivered to my old address. The envelope read, Final notice. Mortgage delinquent. 3 months overdue. I hadn't made a payment since November. I texted Nathan. This came to my address. Shall I forward it? No reply. I left it in the mailbox. They'd spent years building a fantasy life on my sacrifices. Now the walls were crumbling. Poetic. I made tea and watched the sun rise, for once without calculating which bill I had to push off. He knocked at dusk, looking hollowed out. Hair messy. Wrinkled jacket. Mom, I didn't know it was this bad. I said nothing, letting him stew in silence. They want to fix it, but the house is in foreclosure. We're drowning. I handed him the mortgage notice. So now you remember me? Saturday, I was scared of losing their approval. You lost mine first, I said. When you let them call me worthless and did nothing. You're right, he whispered. But I want to make things right. I looked at him carefully. Then don't ask me to fix it. He shook his head slowly. I came to own my part, not to beg. That was a start. If this story left you speechless, if you believe the quietest revenge makes the loudest impact, then you've found your home. Subscribe now for more emotionally charged, cinematic revenge stories. Tap the bell because the next one might just hit closer to home. This is where betrayal backfires and silence speaks louder than screams. You're watching the rise of those they thought would stay broken. See you in the next one. The house went up for sale in February. I watched from a distance. No more payments. No more grocery runs. No more emergency babysitting. Just distance. And dignity. Nathan texted updates, but I didn't reply. I wasn't punishing him. I was rebuilding me. He dropped off a final box in March. Photos, birthday cards, a framed picture of Maria and me. I found these in the attic, he wrote. I opened the box slowly. My past, crumpled but intact. I put Maria's photo back on the mantel beside my grandchildren's drawings. Not everything had been fake. Just misused. This time, I chose what stayed. I chose what I'd carry forward. And what I'd leave behind. Ashley's social media turned quiet. No more brunch selfies. No more holiday recaps. Then came the Instagram post, black background, white text. Sometimes people you trust break you the most. The comments weren't kind. Didn't you lie about your Email? Girl, you used her. Aren't you the one who kicked her out of Christmas? She deactivated her profile the next day. Veronica's charity committee released a statement distancing themselves. Richard resigned from his neighborhood board. Everything they built on performance was collapsing. Meanwhile, I was learning to enjoy silence. And sunlight. And the beautiful sound of nothing being asked from me. It came in an envelope with crooked handwriting. To Grandma, it read. Inside was a drawing of a house with a heart on it. Stick figures, me, Ethan, Lily. I miss you, he wrote. Mom says we'll see you soon. I hope that's true. I folded the note gently. For all the pain, I missed them too. They were innocent, caught between adult games. That night, I cried for them, for the time we lost, for the woman I let them erase. And then I smiled. Because maybe this story didn't end in fire. Maybe it would end in something better. Not repair. Not control. Just reconnection. Slowly. On my terms. This time, the love had to be real. On April 14th, Nathan called. Lily's birthday is next weekend. She wants you there. I hesitated. Ashley. Not invited, he said quietly. We're separating. Because of me? I asked. No, he said. Because I finally saw the damage. I paused, heart racing. Okay, I said. I'll come. But I'm not pretending things didn't happen. Understood, he said. She just wants to see you. That Saturday I arrived with a simple gift. A puzzle and a necklace. Lily ran into my arms. Ethan followed. I didn't cry. I just held them and whispered, Grandma's here. And she's not going anywhere. It wasn't a perfect reunion, but it was honest. And sometimes that's enough. December came again. Faster than I expected. But this time I didn't wait for an invitation. I hosted. A small dinner. Just Rosa, the kids, a few neighbors. Nathan helped cook. No golden turkeys.
No crystal goblets.
Just real laughter. Homemade bread. Handwritten place cards. This feels more like family, Ethan whispered. Because it is, I smiled. Across the room Nathan watched, a mix of shame and gratitude in his eyes. He knew he almost lost this. Lost me. And he was still earning it back. That was okay. Healing didn't have to be rushed. This Christmas wasn't perfect. It was real. And for the first time in years I felt welcome in my own story. In January I got a letter from the Spokane Review. Samantha Voss had submitted a retraction. The headline. We got it wrong. The real story behind the Flores family feud. It quoted neighbors, showed receipts I'd handed out, included Nathan's statement. My mother saved us. We let pride erase her. It wasn't revenge. It was acknowledgement. My phone buzzed with messages. You were right to stand up. I admire your strength. Thank you for telling the truth. I didn't post a response. I didn't need to. Some stories speak for themselves, especially when they're built on facts, not filters. She showed up unannounced. Hair messy.
No makeup.
I lost everything, she said. Nathan. The kids. The house. I nodded. You chose power over partnership. I thought I was protecting them from you, she whispered. Because that's what my mom always did. Your mother protected her image, not her family. She blinked. I'm sorry. I nodded again. That's a start. But healing isn't guaranteed. It's earned. And not for you to demand. She nodded. I just wanted you to know I regret it. Good, I said. But regret isn't the same as change. She left without asking for money. That was her first real gift to me. Silence without expectation. While cleaning, I found an old envelope. Maria's handwriting. Open when you forget who you are. Inside was a note. You are not a bank. You are not background noise. You are not disposable. You are love. You are power. And you deserve peace. I pressed it to my heart. This year broke me. Then it rebuilt me. Not stronger. Wiser. I poured a glass of wine, lit Maria's favorite candle, and sat on the porch. Not waiting for anyone. Not owing anyone. Just whole. And free. I framed the mortgage receipt, the last one I ever paid. I didn't hang it out of bitterness. I hung it as a reminder. Never again. Never again will I pay to be tolerated. Never again will I trade dignity for access. That receipt marked the end of my silence, and the beginning of my return. Laurel Jennings. Mother. Friend. Survivor. And no longer invisible. I took back my power. With receipts. With grace. And one unforgettable Christmas dinner.